I know you don't want to hear it, but the cold weather, it's coming. It's Edmonton after all. And how do we get cold weather ready? We are with our garden expert, Anita Coleman. Good morning, Anita.
Good morning.
I know, it happens every single year, right? We can't escape it. How do we get our garden ready for the harsh winters that come our way?
Yeah, it is a little early, but there's no reason why we can't talk about it already. So, you know, it's very dry right now, so watering your trees and shrubs is quite important. Even now and Thanksgiving and right up till the 1st of November, watering is really important for trees, shrubs, and perennial beds. Your lawn, we've probably still been watering grass. The last fertilization now with a fall type lawn food should be done now so that the lawn actually uses that food right now. You may have a few weeds or things that you could still do a bit of weed control at this time. And then maybe it's going to be your last time to cut the grass too. I guess you just have to wait and see what the weather does, but definitely those are things that we need to start looking at doing now in the fall time.
For sure. Now the overnight temperatures have not dipped into frost territory just yet, but what are some things that we have to do to prepare for that?
Well, if you have vegetables growing in your garden like tomatoes or peppers, even your potatoes, if the frost gets too hard, that can damage those kind of things. Onions, beets, so those kind of things should get harvested. They should be preserved or put into your cold rooms or however you're going to store them for winter in an extra fridge or things like that. So those things also we have to start looking at, making sure the garden's cleaned up.
Can we plant bulbs now?
Absolutely. This is the time of year to start purchasing bulbs and looking at where you're going to plant them.
A wide variety, and we're going to get into that all information. We got alliums, hyacinth, all the fun things that you plant now, but then you'll see the results later on. You have to be patient for it. So Anita's going to show us how to plant the bulbs and talk about maintenance coming up after the break. Now is the time to think about, where am I going to put those fall planted bulbs? Here to help us out is our garden expert, Anita Coleman. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
So what can we plant during the fall? That, obviously we wait until next year and we actually see the beautiful results.
Yeah, of course, you want beautiful flowers first thing in spring.
Yes.
So tulips and daffodils, little crocuses, the big alliums that grow the big purple ball. They usually bloom a little later, but they are a spring bulb. We plant them now. Also garlic. People are planting garlic at this time of year. So it's really important that you look at where you're going to plant them. They have to be planted right down in the ground, not in any kind of raised higher beds or pots or containers. Our winter is just too harsh for that. So we have to do that right in the flower beds or right in the ground.
Okay.
And it's important that you know what size your bulbs are and how deep to plant them. The rule is usually 3 times the size of the bulb. So when you look at your bulbs, like say a daffodil or a tulip is quite large, but you're going to want to have at least 2 inches of soil on top of that when you put it down. Growing tips up is very important, roots down. So, you can't just lay them anyway, they have to be planted correctly. Deep enough, use a bit of bone meal fertilizer. And then once the bed is planted, you got to water it in. And some people put a bit of mulch or extra things on top just to use for winter protection.
And you do have some fancy tools to help us out too, right?
That's a bulb planter, so you just push it in.
Okay, I'll take one of the garlic.
Yeah, and it has a measurement on it to show how deep you're going, and then you can just release that handle and the soil just falls out. So that's a bulb planter. It's one of those fun little tools that you can use for planting.
Makes things a lot easier.
In rows or in clumps. What I like clumps because it sort of makes, each bulb makes 1 flower, so you want it to be bright and beautiful. And
amazing. Anita, thank you very much for all that amazing info. Remember, get your fall planted bulbs right now to get the most excellent color for next year. For more information, go to Coleman's website down below.